thing. What is going on, Haunt Nation? I'm Ant.
See?
And this is going to be the review for Indy Scream Park 2021. Indy Scream Park is around the Indianapolis area. I'm not sure exactly of the town. I didn't do my research. Bad me. Bad. I've been there several times. Haven't been there in a couple of years. At least 3 years. T's never been there. And it is actually a real Scream Park. They have 3 houses, indoor attractions, 2 outdoor attractions. One is a zombie land something.
Right.
And
like a zombie apocalypse type.
Like a zombie apocalypse type thing. And the other is a woods walk. So you can pick and choose what you want to go to, where you want to go. For the amount of attractions, it's decently priced. Like I said, 5 separate attractions. It's about, what, $50 a ticket?
Roughly, yeah.
Right? Like 40 something plus the fees.
Right.
Close to 50 a ticket. So $10 an attraction, all separate. They have an area where they have typical carnival foods. They have some carnival type games this year. They had caricatures, some merchandise, t-shirts, hoodies, beer. They do sell beer and, you know, like...
Oh, you got to bend over for it, though.
Yeah, stadium prices for the beer.
It makes Disney World seem like a non-profit organization.
Well, let's not get that crazy. I did buy a beer. I think they're like the 22-ounce cans. It was a $10 beer, and I got Michelob Ultra. It's not like I get some kind of fucking crazy imported beer.
Yeah, when you say you can get a 6-pack of 12, a little rough.
Yeah, a little rough. It is, but you know, you're at a venue.
Right.
You know, you're paying $7 for a fucking corn dog. What do you expect?
Right.
I get a whole pack of corn dogs for $10. You know, it is what it is. You're going out to have a good time. You're going to spend some cash.
Right.
What else? They had a fire pit. They had a lot of seating in that area.
You will pay for parking.
Yes, you will. $7. So parking is not cheap. Didn't used to have to pay for parking at all. We went. It had rained all day the day before and on and off the day that we went. It was supposed to be a clear day the day that we went. Unfortunately, you can't trust the weather.
Yep.
2 different weather apps,
right,
by the way, before we ordered the tickets, and even the day before said it was going to be clear. So it was soggy. You're basically parking out in the field. So people were getting stuck. We saw a guy in a pickup truck get stuck. We almost got stuck because some dildo fucking decided to pull out in front of us, and I had to stop. And then once we stopped,
we were stuck in the road.
Yeah, it was hard to get moving. Luckily, a couple really nice people
helped us push.
Yeah. Got us out of the mud into the grass, and then we were able to leave from there. So, but that's a whole nother thing. So yeah, parking is not free. It costs money. You're not parking in a gravel lot. So take that into account on the days you're going. I think they may close some of the outdoor attractions if it rains, but they were open. Before we get to all of that, we had regular general admission tickets. So they had a big exit. It says clearly above it, exit only. Next to that, VIP. Next to that, general admission. So 4 slots, or 3 or 4 slots for general, 1 slot for VIP, 1 slot for exit. 2 of them, general admission, clearly roped off because they didn't want anybody going in.
Right.
1 of them, completely open. VIP, a line of about 10 or 12 people getting their tickets checked by a woman outside with the little typical scanner gun type thing. So what do? We're not VIPs. We're general admission. We walk in the general admission spot.
One would think. That's where we should be going. And
then
this woman threw a fucking conniption on us. So already cranked me up for the night. Already started the night off on a bad foot. Because she was fucking nasty.
Well, not only did she yell when we started to try to go through, then another woman was inside. She's like, I'll take them in here.
Right.
Apparently this woman didn't hear that.
Right.
We kept walking. Because he said, what? Like when this woman started yelling at us, he got a little uppity back with her. And then the woman, I kind of heard the tail end of something, but apparently she was not very nice, saying fucking idiots.
Fucking idiots don't know where to go, or
Don't
something to that
don't know
effect.
how to read.
Right, something
Don't
to
know
that
how.
effect.
As far as I know, I can fucking read. Pretty decent at it. Oh, okay with writing as well. And it did say general admission, and she was in the VIP, which we weren't.
Right.
So unless she was going to upgrade us for free, you may want to give your gatekeeping people a fucking Valium or something, or
Yeah.
train them a little better, because there's absolutely no reason. Like, I had to literally, he was going to get into an altercation with this, like a verbal altercation with this woman. I had to drag him away. I'm like, it's not worth it, bro. Nobody's going to see you as in the right. This little rotund woman and you yelling at each other, you're just going to get thrown out, and potentially arrested. Especially the way everything is today, the climate. Everybody's a fucking domestic terrorist for opening their mouth nowadays. So,
right. But
needless to say, started
my night off really friggin' horrible. A venue should, give their staff a little lesson in courtesy and manners. And, there was nothing wrong with her saying, "Oh, that I'll take you over here."
Right.
No, that's the wrong line. I'll take you over here.
That entrance is closed.
Right.
Even though we didn't have the rope covering it.
Right.
So, needless to say, set him off.
Right.
I went in, grabbed myself a $10 beer. There is a map of the area. You'll see that on the Instagram and the Facebook pages. I took a picture of the map so you can see how everything is done. Also took a little 360 video of one of the areas in the Midway.
Yeah.
So, all that said, back onto the night. It was muddy. Muddy. My shoes covered with mud, to the over the top. My
the
shoes.
laces.
Everybody's. There were people coming out
my
of
pant legs.
There were people coming out of the woods walk with mud. I guess they decided they were going to run and didn't make it very far. So it was muddy.
Yeah.
Should they have shut it down? I don't think so. I would have been a little upset, if I hadn't been able to do all 5 attractions. But that said, the woods walk and the zombie apocalypse that we went to, weren't as good as I think they could have been.
Right.
Because of that. So, woods walk was nice, really dark. It put you into groups of about 6.
Mm-hmm.
We had 4, and we got put in with another group of 2 people.
Mm-hmm.
1 glow stick for the whole group. Walk through the woods. They have a path that has hay on it, which helped a little bit with the mud, but not greatly, because it was bad.
That we needed.
Yeah, it was really bad. But I think some really adequate for what you're going for that backwoods, hillbilly family that's gonna cook you and eat you, along the lines of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Right.
I think the set pieces were appropriate. The costumes were appropriate.
It was sparse, but
it was. But you're walking through the woods to get to little set pieces, and it kind of builds the anticipation, I think.
Right.
You're not seeing too many actors along the way, but again, I view that one as less about not having enough actors and more about the anticipation.
Mm.
And I can tell you in previous years it's been like that. You'll meet some people along the path, some actors along the path, but for what it is, I think it was appropriate. The zombie one, however, is interactive, so you get a glow necklace if you want it to be interacted with, or not if you don't, and then supposedly they will grab you and pull you offline. I actually got grabbed and pulled offline, had to do a little puzzle, for lack of a better way of putting it, to get out of where they put me, and then I had to catch up to my group. But other than that one was extraordinarily underwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
We saw maybe 10 actors in the whole thing, and even though everyone in our group had a necklace on, I was the only one that got interacted with. Like, the actors didn't even come close to anybody. Half of it was shut down. It was roped off.
I would say a good third of the attraction was just roped off at the end.
A lot of it was roped off. I'm guessing for the mud and the weather conditions. So, I'm not going to really hold that against them. You know, and then off to the houses.
Right.
Uh,
Blackout. Done very, very well. It was probably the highlight of the night. Was their blackout house.
that or the clown house.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Right.
Yeah, really, really done well. I mean, the only other blackout that I've seen done as well as the one at Reaper's Revenge,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but the one at Reaper's tends to have a lot more people bumping into us, and we didn't have that issue.
Right.
I don't know if people were turned off by the idea, but there's a lot of,
Yeah, that was the shortest friggin' line. Like, we walked right in. Nobody wanted any part of that.
yeah, sensory deprivation because there's a lot of loud sounds going on,
Mm-hmm.
bright flashes of lights to disorient you, and a lot of
And then
just
going right back into pitch black.
right into pitch black. So, actors around, some,
Some,
you know, but again, that's not
but that
one
wasn't
that
the
you really
idea.
need
Yeah.
much for. So really enjoyable. Kilgore's 3D Circus.
Yep.
3D glasses. They actually asked if we wanted them or not, which was nice, I guess, for some people.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted them, of course. We enjoy the 3D paint, so it was the clear glasses with the painted 3D surroundings,
Right.
and the actresses all had 3D paint on them.
Right.
Appropriate,
Mm-hmm.
and just a really good haunt. And then the
Right.
third was...
And I think that had the most actors as well.
Yeah, it did. And the third was their mutation,
Right.
which is kind of like, I don't know if it's supposed to be a laboratory, an office building.
Right. Kind of like this, you know, the pandemic type
I think they actually used to call it pandemic mutation a few years ago, but in light of things,
Yeah.
current events, I guess they decided to drop the pandemic part.
Yeah.
Um,
That was very underwhelming as well.
yeah,
Especially because it was
Set
supposed
pieces-
to be. Well,
set
hold on.
pieces were
even
good.
even before that, it was supposed to be another interactive haunt with the glow necklace, and it seemed like, you know what? It's so late. We're not even going to offer them anymore. Let's just get as many people through as
well,
possible.
it's
That's
not like
what-
it seemed like. That's kind of the way she was. And the person guarding that one just kind of pushed us through with a group in front of us rather than spacing us properly.
Right.
So that's one thing I will say about Indy Scream Park. They do spacing. They all have things that look like phones. 30 seconds.
Mhm.
Timer. The timer beeps. It makes an audible beep, an audible sound. They push the group through, give the next group the spiel. Don't touch anything. Don't beat anybody. No
Right.
cameras, phones, whatever. They're giving you that spiel while that countdown timer's done. Basically, when they're done, the timer's done.
Mhm.
It's time to go. So spacing is generally really good there, you know, except for this one instance where
they
it seemed like she
not
just
a
wanted to
single
go
fuck
the
was
fuck
given,
home.
yeah.
She just wanted to go the fuck home, which made me want to go through it another 5 times. That brings us to another great thing. So Indy Scream Park has a fast pass. The fast pass is a lanyard with a cardboard ticket, basically, and as you go through the attractions on the fast pass line, they clip the different attractions, so you can't go through them again on the fast pass line. However, you can go through any of the attractions as many times as you like during the course of the night. You're basically, it's almost like a theme park, Six Flags type place. Like once you pay to get in, you're free to do whatever you want. If you want to just go through Blackout 25 times, you go through Blackout 25 times, which I actually think is really cool.
Yeah. Cool
Somewhat innovative. Nobody else really does that.
Mhm.
You know, everywhere else you'll get a ticket, and as you go through, they'll clip your ticket and you can't go back through.
Right.
You know, Indy Scream Park, they don't care. They'll let you go through multiple times if you so desire.
Right.
We were there on our general. We were there for 4 to 5 hours,
Yeah.
probably 5 hours,
Because
close to 5
the
hours,
crowds are huge.
and we got to see everything. We could have, at the end of the night. So they closed at 1 a.m. At the end of the night, around midnight, the crowd started petering off. We could have hopped back on a line and gone through stuff, but everybody's pretty tired at that point.
Yeah.
You know?
Because standing in line for an hour just takes the life out of you.
Yeah. So everybody was pretty tired. So we just kind of, you know, let it go. They do have, I won't call them line creepers, but they had costume characters wandering around the midway,
Mhm.
and the costumes are pretty good. They had a Michael Myers, and they had a Freddy Krueger.
Right.
So aside from the shortcomings themselves of the actors, the guys,
Right.
2 of the guys were a little bit short,
Yeah.
you know, for the roles. I shouldn't be towering over Michael Myers or definitely not Jason,
Right.
but appropriate Stephen character. Costumes were good, masks were good, everything was happy.
Mm-hmm.
So, back to it.
Mhm.
Costuming, masks, all that stuff around the whole of the haunt.
I would say average. There was nothing spectacular about costuming.
Average, a little above average. Everything was appropriate.
It was,
Everything
but,
was appropriate.
but nothing really.
No, nothing. No
Nothing
prosthetics
spectacular.
or
No
anything that made
prosthetics,
anybody
no-
stand out.
No masks that hug the face. That
No, Freddy's did.
Well, but
Right, you're talking about
yeah,
in
I'm
the
talking about in the
attractions.
attractions.
A lot of the attractions were appropriately dark too, which is another good thing. When it's dark enough, you don't need great makeup.
Right.
Grease paint makeup works just fine. When it's dark enough.
Right.
Set pieces I thought were great. Nothing
Yep.
gorgeous. They were good, very good.
They were
They were
adequate.
appropriate. What else? So we went over cost, sets, parking,
Mm-hmm.
costuming.
Mm-hmm.
Value for your money, I'd say, is average or
Yeah.
good. I mean, if again, you can go through things multiple times.
Right, and
So
that's
if you
what
take
gives
advantage of that, that's a great
Right.
value.
Right.
Porta potties for bathrooms,
Mhm.
as is typical. They also had a zombie paintball, which we didn't partake in because that cost extra. Looks like they take you around on a school bus with fixed paintball guns and shoot at God knows what,
Right.
human actors or standees. I don't know. We
Yeah.
didn't do it.
But it's just going to be tough to give it a rating because of how this year has been.
All right.
I'd go with a solid 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking around the same. I'm thinking probably a 7.5. I'm thinking probably a 7.5. It was good. Wasn't great. I think the other two attractions would have been better had it not been for the weather.
Right.
And we're also going at the. I'm being a little more reasonable because we went right around the Halloween weekend. So
Right.
Halloween weekend, things tend to be busy. People tend to not want to show up to work anymore.
Mm.
But yeah, there were a few areas that were sparse of actors.
Mhm.
Could it be just the year and the way things are going this year, or the time of year? But yeah,
But it's something I would definitely try again.
So there you go.
Maybe not next year, but maybe I would try it again the following.
Right. So I'm with a 7.5. He's with a solid
I'm
7.
going to go solid 7 only because I gave Dent 7.5 soft 8. And I cannot, in my right mind, even with the conga line factor, give this anywhere near Dent's accolades.
All right. Well, I'm giving
So
it.
that's why I'm sticking it with a 7.
And I'll give you my rationale. I'll give you all my rationale for the 7.5. There's a lot more to do.
Right.
Dent got its 7.5 soft 8, leaning towards the 8 because of its set pieces, costuming, and all that. Its length, and then plus they had the outside area that we couldn't do because of weather.
Because of the weather. Right.
This place we actually had 5 things that we did that we
Right.
got to do.
Right.
One of them probably cut a little short because of the weather. The woods walk definitely wasn't. We walked that whole
Oh, yeah.
trail. I don't think there was another way they could have done that.
No.
There's no real way to section it off.
No.
That wouldn't have made it worse.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
But yeah, there were, and that was the other thing. There were definitely there were no scares. Frady Cat with us, not a single scare, not a yelp, not a yip, not a jump. Indy Scream Park, definitely got scared multiple times.
Right.
So then that's why I'm going with the 7.5.
All right.
I will
Fair
give
enough.
it. I will give it the same rating just because there was more to do.
Mhm.
It may not have looked as good. The costuming
Was definitely
wasn't
not as
definitely
good.
not
Yeah.
as good, but we had a lot more volume.
Mhm.
Granted, it was twice the price, but we had 5 things to do instead of 1,
Mhm.
and and there were actually scares because the spacing, for the most part, was really done well. It was
Right.
still appropriate despite the fact that it was the holiday weekend,
Mhm.
just like it was Dent's holiday weekend. So anyway, on that is Indy Scream Park
Yep.
2021, and we will catch you on the next one.